Hello and welcome back to my first video of the new term. We've come back after the summer recess to Parliament. Beautiful weather, which we could have done with back in August. But anyway, I hope you had a good summer break in some form or the other. Now, it's a very busy week we've come back to in Parliament. We've had statements, not surprisingly, for the further fallout of Afghanistan since we were brought back in August to have a debate about that. We've had statements around the government's intentions on vaccine passports. I have severe concerns about a vaccine passport. Also, what the government's going to do about vaccinating children potentially. And again, I don't think that necessarily should be a priority, but we need to have further information and evidence from the experts. And then, of course, on Tuesday we've had a big announcement about the government's proposals for funding social care. This is going to be very controversial, but at last a government is doing something about it rather than kicking it into the long grass. This has happened for successive governments over many years. I'm not convinced at this stage that adding to the national insurance rate is the best way of providing funding for that, but we've got a long way to go on this. But at least we are going to deal with the anomaly and outrageous position for many that they are forced into selling their homes and giving up their savings because through no fault of their own somebody needs intensive nursing care, or through dementia and other cruel conditions like that. I've already had quite a number of emails, and I will say further things about it as the details come out in the next few weeks. In terms of legislation, this week we have another controversial, the elections bill. A number of people have contacted me about. I think this is a good bill. There are lots of things in there about the integrity of elections, about making sure we don't have the problems with foreign money influencing elections as we've seen in other countries, about enfranchising those British citizens who are living abroad, making sure technology can't be compromised, making sure postal votes aren't compromised as well, and also, which seems to be the controversial part of it, requiring people to present identification when they go to vote. I don't see the problem with that. It's happened in Northern Ireland since 2003, photo identification, and people in Northern Ireland have the highest voter turnout record of anywhere in the United Kingdom. So it does not deter people from voting, quite the opposite. And the more people vote, the better it is for democracy. Anyway, and that one is going to run and run. We've got a technical bill around coronavirus rating and director disqualifications bill, which I won't go into. It's not controversial. We've got a really interesting session on the Home Affairs Select Committee this week. We're doing a one-off sitting around racism in football, following some of the really alarming scenes we saw with the England football team and some of the foreign racism that came into some of the matches. And obviously it's an issue that a lot of people take a lot of interest in. Locally, I've got briefings with the Chief of Police in the district. There have been some reports about social behaviour I want to go through with her. I've got meetings this week around global deforestation with the St John's Ambulance, who've done such a fantastic job during the pandemic and certainly helped on the vaccination programme, with the RSPB, as I'm an RSPB species champion, with UNICEF around Best Start for Children and how what we're doing here may apply to children overseas as well. Also got meetings around the future of development aid, and with the refugee charity Safe Passage about looking after refugees in the best way. And obviously that situation has become more challenging because of what's happened in Afghanistan. I'm taking Friday off because my youngest daughter is graduating from university at last. She was due to graduate over a year ago, but it all got delayed. So I think you'll excuse me if my wife and I go to see her graduate and be very proud parents. I shall be back on Saturday. It's the Worthing Food and Drink Festival going on all weekend. There's been great things from local produce there. Go and support it if you can. It's also the Worthing Rugby Club centenary. I shall be going along to watch the match there. But on Saturday morning, as usual, we'll have the Shoreham Farmers Market street surgery. And one person will be missing, and I've given some comments to the local press, and that's our great friend and councillor Dave Simmons, who very sadly passed away a few days ago. He was a great public servant, a really hard-working and dedicated councillor, always turned out for our street surgeries, always there to help the public, and we've passed on our great sympathies and regrets to his wife Pauline and family, and he'll be greatly missed.